Hello out there, this is Uncle Bruce again, and this time I'm going to show you a new part of 3fin. I think it's really cool. I've been working on it for the last week, so here we go. First thing is we got a new logo. Make killer deals, shark cap table, 3fin, which means we have 3 financial statements that come along with this product. You don't have to make your financial statements anymore because we do it for you. So let's go to tab 2, 24-month projections. Now look, there's 2 ways you can do this whole thing. You have 2 choices. You can either do monthly projections, which is what I advise because you're going to run into trouble in the first 24 months. You might run out of money. How are you going to know that if you only do 2 years? There's not enough resolution. You got to break it up into months, okay? Lots of months. You can see things much, much better. So we give you that opportunity. On the other hand, if you don't want to do it and you just want to get a real rough idea, you can come in here and you can click on this and it says yearly projections activated. And what that actually does is it just turns off temporarily all of the monthly projections. And then you go directly to the third tab, tab number 3, and you put in your years. Imagine that. Pretty good, huh? Okay, so we're going to reset it to 1. I'll let you read all this good stuff, but here's the key thing. Our basic formula that we use all throughout this thing is so simple. Units times price equals revenue. Yeah, you got to do that. All right. Now look, a couple quick notes. There are 3 sets of financials. Capital expenditures and amortization of intangibles is not happening. It's too complex. It's too much stuff to worry about. We're just going to expense those items. It's much easier. There are 2 unlocked sheets at the end of the tabs. And guess what? You can do your own financial modeling. You can do your own calculations. You can cut and paste and put those numbers into the second tab or the third tab. Anytime you see red numbers, that means you can put something in them. You could even write a formula. Imagine that. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Yes, and we allow that to happen. Yay for our team. All right. Look, another thing is that months 1 through 12 and 13 through 24 are consolidated into years 1 and 2. Yep, we do that too. Okay, look, let's go down to C here. It says, make, store, and use unit profiles, set prices, and cost of goods sold. I am very lazy. I don't mind programming, but when I get done programming, I'm very, very lazy. I think you are too. It's an asset. It's not a liability because I want quick answers. Well, we're going to give you the quick answers here, folks. Here's the problem. We have 3 cases, small, or actually low, mid, and high. Now we got 4 products, right? Okay, 3 times 4 is 12. We got 24 months. Multiply that by another 24, and you have 288 cells that you must fill out if you're going to do small or low, mid, and high case. I think you should do those because investors like to see what the worst and the best and then the mediocre case. So that's why we gave you those 3. But if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. It's your program. When you buy it, you can do what you want. But you ought to listen to Uncle Bruce. I've had more than 2 weeks of experience, folks. As in decades of experience, hundreds of deals. So look, what we're going to do is we're going to create a profile. Okay, here's a profile. See that? It's not a quacker. It's just a profile. Now, it doesn't make any difference how big it is because I can inflate it. I can make it big. I can make it small. And I can make it grow fast or I can make it grow slow. We give you that capability. Yes, indeed. You're going to love it. It's so slick. I love it. I love playing with this tool. It's just really cool. All right, so here we come. Look, first thing you got to do is you got to name your products. You got to price them, and then you got to put your cost of goods in there. Okay, so here we go. Now look, anytime you got red, that's where you put it because it then sits down and creates it for you automatically. They're all linked. I like toys. Toys are a nice 3-letter word. It's short. You don't have forever. You can't write a book in this little spot here. So we have toy cars, toy trucks, toy planes, and toy boats. Now here we put the product prices. I just kept them the same throughout the 3 cases. Now that might be one of the things you want to play with as a variation. What if those product prices change? Generally what I'm doing is I'm doing the unit changes. That's how everybody does it. Prices are pretty much going to stay the same. Now, maybe your cost of goods will change with a lot of volume, but generally not. Although here I've given you the opportunity, if you want to change them slightly in year 2. Same thing here, of course, for your prices, but I think you should keep them constant. When you start changing all these things, people don't understand, and you could have any number of combinations and permutations, and nobody will give any credence to it. Too many changes. Just change one thing and show the difference. Got it? Increase your revenues by selling more stuff. Yep, that's the way to do it. Now looky, if you scroll over here, we're going to see the cost of goods. Now, how did I calculate the cost of goods? Well, I gave you a little calculator right here, folks. It's easy. Look, there's 4 columns to correspond with your 4 products. Okay? Put the selling price in here. You got some costs like materials or maybe a wholesale cost. Anything in red you can change, okay? So if you don't like the name of these, just change them to something else. But the point is that when you sell something, these are the costs directly associated with that sale. It's not your marketing, it's not your overhead, it's not your, your internet costs. It's just the product costs. So here you have a total cost of goods. $10, you got 5 in there, see 1, 2, and 2. That's your total cost of goods. Take that number, put it there. See that number there? Whoop. See that number there? Put it there. You got it now, right? I didn't give you 3 of these to correspond with low, mid, high because I figured you could probably do it yourself. Otherwise, it goes way over to the right, and I don't want to be doing that. All right. Let's keep on going. We're going to get to the fun stuff here in a second. Now, what have we got here? We've got ourselves a unit sales profile factory. And I'm going to move it up just a smidgen more. Okay, unit sales profile factory. Make, store, and recall profiles? What do you mean? What's a profile? Well, look, if you take the units away and just draw a number, draw some shapes, you got a profile. This is a profile. It basically says, I'm going to bump along and not create many sales in the first 3 months. See, we got 3 months here. You got the dates right up here, the end of the month. The end of the quarter. We got quarters. Notice we got 3 little colors. This is kind of like you get started, now you start ramping, and then you get going a little better. So, just come in here. First off, you want to set this red thing to 0. Okay? This is a multiplier. You can multiply it up, or you can multiply it down. It's that simple. It's fun. All spinners. Now look, I gave you the red numbers here. We can zero these. I'm going to make you a nice curve. You can see how easy this is. Just zero these out. Oh, we got a couple more there. Make a 0. All right. First thing is make this 1. Why do you want to make it 1? Because it's a good starting point. You might go down. You're probably going to go up. So, hey, nothing's going on in the first month. A little bit in the second month. Don't worry about this big spike. That's just 1 unit or 1. It's relative. Here we're doing flat. Hey, we're getting a little better here. All right, so now, there we go. Look at how easy this is. Now this thing's starting to take off a little bit. Now, maybe we're going to slow it down a little bit so we don't go too fast. What a beautiful curve. We did that in about 10 seconds. I defy you to do a curve in 10 seconds. You can't do it. Now, what are we going to do with that curve? Well, we got to save it someplace. So, see this red thing over here? Just copy that. Copy. Now, where do we put it? I know where I'd like to put it, but right here is a good place. Paste special. Values. Okay. See, it just went in there. Now look, here's the 140. That tells you how many relative units you sold. 140, so that's pretty good. All right, so you see what's going on here, folks? One thing I haven't told you is that what happens if I want to get a curve back into this thing? Let's take the 5th one down here. See, it starts here. I'm going to copy just the white with the red numbers. Copy. Going to come back here, just in the white, not up here because it's going to lock you out. Right click, paste special, values, kaboom. Oh, did you see it move? Yep, that is a curve that came from the 5th location in your little library. Now I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to put it back in paste special values. Okay, now I'm going to show you another little thing here. When you come down here, you're going to see this is the total. You know, this seems a little light. Well, don't worry about it. We could make it bigger by doing this. So you got with 280 now, as opposed to 800 for the next one. You know, maybe go a little more. It's okay. But I'm going to keep it at 1 because we have another time we can do this. I like to keep the library all kind of the same, no matter what happens. So, what have you learned? You've learned that we have ourselves a library. You can put things into the library, and you can take things out of the library. Into the library, out of the library. Just got to follow a couple simple rules about how Excel works. Paste special, copy paste special. Okay. Now, this is getting to be the fun part. There are 4 products per low, mid, and high cases. Remember, we told you about that. You're going to select 1 from 12, make adjustments, and then repeat for another line. What you're trying to do is you're trying to ascribe or put a curve of unit sales for each of your products. It's that simple, and it's that fast. You could have it all done by the time I quit wagging my tongue, but I got to do it first so you understand. Once you catch on, I know you're all smart. You'll do this just great. All right. So, watch what happens. See this little spinner over here? It goes from 12 to 1. You see this turquoise thing and going up and down? Well, it's just telling you which line it is, and it's activating everything. So we're going to sit at 1. And by the way, you can see that all this up here is changing. It's kind of fun. I love going up and down. Oh, it's so much fun. So, let's just follow the red numbers. Number 1, select a line. We just did that. Number 2, profile. What profile do you want? Well, remember, how many we got? We only got 5. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Which one? Let's leave it at 1. It's a nice one. In fact, I like this little table here because you can see exactly which ones you're doing. Now, you might decide that they're all the same profile. In this case, I took 4 different profiles and left 1 out. Now, number 3. When are you going to begin the sales? Do you think it always starts at month 1? It might start 3 months later, 5 months later, 9 months later. Watch what happens. Again, in the turquoise. This is month 1. Now watch what, can you see that thing moving? Look at that. Isn't that fun? It goes all the way over to 24. It's gone. Back again. Just clicking. What power. Don't forget, Excel has this automatically changing to scale it to right, so it may not look like it's moving, but believe me, it is. Now, the last thing we can do, remember we talked about inflating the curve? Remember this curve here? We can make it bigger or smaller? Well, that's what we're going to do right here. 10 means 1, because we're multiplying this little guy here, or actually we're dividing by 10. And I've left the red numbers here, and they're unlocked. And you can come in there, and you can change them by hand, or you can spin them. I like spinners, but some people don't. So, at the 10, it means we're at the original volume of this curve. There's a volume underneath this curve. Okay? That volume happens to be 379 units. Do you think you're going to sell 379 units? Well, maybe you're going to sell a lot more. So let's go in here and let's crank this baby. Watch this number here and watch here. I'm cranking. I want to get to about 1,000. Why? Because look at this. The next one is 27, 42, 84. And we're going to do something when we get to the 5th one and the 9th one because they're just too low. You know, that makes a nice thing. You know, this is almost twice, that's twice, and that's twice. That's pretty good. All right. What's next? Well, I want to show you something else we have here. We are in the low section. See this low? Well, it's bringing up your EBITDA and your income. Imagine that. You're going to see the income or the EBITDA for 24 months right here. And guess what you can do? Watch what happens to that number when I inflate it. It gets bigger, just like you thought it would, huh? Boy, are you guys smart out there. Ladies, too. Don't forget the ladies. A lot of people out there. Okay? So I can kind of just play this thing and see, gee, I got better EBITDA. Your income might be better, but, you know, if I come down, you might be a 0 or negative. Well, there it is. It's okay. We got pretty good things going on here. It works this way for each one of these. Now, This is always going to be the low. So if I come down here and do this, I can again adjust it, okay, because this is the second product, okay? This is the third product. So I'm inflating this, having a great time inflating. Now, why would you want to play this inflation game? Well, I'm going to tell you that you ought to go in first and figure out some of your costs, your fixed costs. I'm going to show you some fixed costs. And when you get those fixed costs set, guess what you can do? You can then start selling. You can ask yourself, how many units must I sell to make any money by the second year? Or before I run out of money? Very important. We haven't even raised any money yet. But we want to see how much you might need by looking at the negativity that's being generated by a lot of expenses. You know, you can shape this thing in a number of different ways. All right, so let's keep on going. We have a lot of nice products here. Now let's go to the high and see what happens. You know, we got positive numbers. Hey, everything's cool. Yep. Now, in order to play the game, one more thing. In order to play the game of the profiles of the beginning sales and inflate the curve, to see it, okay, to see the effect, you must be in the high. If you're going to play the game in the high, you must play it in the high. You get to see the numbers. If you want to play the game here, well, you got to put them in. Because up here it isn't going to change much. You see it doesn't change, but here it does. Ah, you see that? What do you know? All right, folks. Now, let's go down here a little bit more. And by the way, here how you do it. Just follow the numbers. I just showed you. Now look, here we've got the big charts. And this little spinner over here. Notice it changes color. Blue is low. Mid is yellow. And what do you think is the third one? It's light green. It's that way throughout. We're trying to keep this color coordinated so you understand. You can see things subliminally. Too many numbers make you crazy. And that's what happened to me. I'm a little crazy because I got too many numbers in my head. But you're the beneficiary because, boy, do I know how to do numbers for you. All right, so let's go on going. Nice little chart here. This is the 24 months number of units for the 3. Here's the 24 months EBITDA. So you see we got a little dip in the EBITDA and then keeps up. Yeah, it's okay. 24 months income. Well, not much happening here. Then all of a sudden it takes off, but it stays kind of level. It's okay. Now look, this is all being driven by 3 financial statements. The income statements. We're going to give you balance sheets and cash flow statements by the year. We're not going to do it by the month. It's too darn complex. You almost have to have a financial, background to be able to do this, and a lot of you don't. I'm trying to make this so it works for you. Okay? You don't want to be a number nerd. It helps, but you don't want to be a number nerd, do you now? All right, so look. Here are your 4 revenues. Now, we haven't talked about royalties because that comes when we're doing the deal. You can actually raise some money by selling royalties, but I'm not going to tell you about it yet. Here's the cost of goods. Now looky, cost of goods you've already done because you've got a table way up there. Remember way up there? We're going to scroll up. Cost of goods, remember up here? See cost of goods? Cost of goods is the product, the number of units that you're selling times the cost of goods. We come down here, and guess what? There it is. Now you can write some little notes if you want to. Anything in red is fair game. Now we get into some things you're going to have to simply enter because I can't make an algorithm for this stuff. Marketing expenses, we give you 4. Why 4? Because you got 4 products. Maybe you got 4 different markets. Or maybe you got different kinds of advertising. So you got 4. It's very simple. It's limited. You don't have to have 400 different kinds of revenues. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down with people and they have 33 wonderful revenues and 2 lines of expenses. You know what I tell them? I say, give me down to 2 or 3 lines and then add some more to your expenses because you're going to go broke with your expenses. Oh, but Bruce, Uncle Bruce, it's so much fun to put revenues in. Oh, I'm dreaming of sugar plums and fairies and, hippopotamuses and all kinds of cool stuff. Hey, I'm sorry. That's not it. A couple of lines of revenues, and that's all you need. Gee willikers. Now, You see, there actually is a little formula here. I'm saying that it's about 1/10 of your sales will be marketing. Now, if you want to make this bigger, just make a bigger percentage. And you might want to change it a little later on. You have the ability to put a formula in here. You can't break this thing because the rest of it's all locked. That's the beauty of it. Now, here's another one. Operating expenses. We only have 5. I don't want to see 500 line items. You can't keep track of them anyway. You can name what they are. I said the owner's salary and the burden, $5,000 a month. That's a lot of money for a startup. Manager, maybe it's your partner. Salesman, okay, maybe he earns something as a percentage of sales, or you just pay him a flat fee. Maybe you got a worker. Hey, don't forget you probably got rent in there. Anyway, you can consolidate all these. You can go over to the last tab, and you can create your giant spreadsheet of all your wonderful expenses. Just put 5 line items and link them in here. That's all you got to do. CapEx. What's CapEx? Capital expenditures. Remember, we're not depreciating. We're expensing. So here we got 3 nice line items, and you can go ahead and you can put whatever you want to in there. Now, a little bit of tricky stuff here. It's not too tough. Cumulative operating profit is really not part of a financial statement. But I'm showing it here because you have to see what the cum is in order to figure out when you're going to pay some rough taxes. And there's the tax rate for a corporation these days. Thanks to our new president, we only pay about 20%. No more graduation. It's much easier. Now, I've also got a line in here for tax adjustments, plus or minus. Maybe there's something that's going on, but you got a place that you can change it. And here's your after-tax income. And look, we got the colors. You know, pink means you're losing. Got the parentheses. Green means you're good. Green good, pink go. I said pink go, not pink o. So that's what it does. Now remember, when you want to print this sucker, it's very easy. It turns into legal, vertical, 3 columns plus your line items. Boom, 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 boom. People aren't going to look for this, but if you have to, it's all set up for printing. And it prints the low, then the medium, or the mid, and then the high. Nice legal paper. So what do you think? Huh? Pretty cool. I love this little program. This is really slick. It'll give you a lot of power. It gives you free time for you to really start looking at the important stuff. There it is, folks. This is Shark Cap Table 3 Fin, and we are in the 24 months projections. Thanks again for listening. There's going to be some more interesting videos coming up.